बोलो हरि गोपाल बोलो राधा रमण हरि गोपाल बोलो।
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. At the moment, I'm in the most auspicious place in the universe, Sri Vrindavan Dham, presently at the Radharaman temple, established by Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami for his very dear deity, Radharaman. Srila Prabhupada once said there are 5,000 temples in Vrindavan. That was 30 or 40 or even 50 years ago. I think there's many more now. But there are 7 prominent temples that Gaudiya Vaishnavas visit when they come on pilgrimage to Vrindavan or if they live here. Actually, when Srila Prabhupada lived in Vrindavan for many years before coming to the West, I read in the Prabhupada Lilamrita that he would visit all the 7 prominent temples in the morning and then go back in the evening and visit them as well. Because deity worship is an integral part of our Vaishnava tradition, our Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, chanting Hare Krishna, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, worshipping the deity, living in a holy place and associating with devotees. And it was Srila Prabhupada who very kindly brought deity worship to the Western world, where we can see it's very much accepted now. There's temples all over the world which are visited by ISKCON temples that are visited by thousands or hundreds of thousands or even millions, you could say, over the years. So deity worship is so important. And this particular temple, Radharaman temple, Srila Prabhupada said one time that we could come here to learn the process of deity worship. Apparently, with his association with this temple and the Goswamis who run this temple or oversee this temple, Prabhupada was impressed with their puja, which was of course established by Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So he encouraged us to visit here and to learn about the deity worship, not only the rituals but the mood, the bhav. So I've taken that very seriously. I love to do deity worship. I've done deity worship most of my career. Even as a traveling sannyasi, I've always traveled with deities. So in my association with the temple here and the personalities who worship in this temple, I came in contact with one of the Goswamis. There's actually many Goswami families that do the worship here at different intervals during the year. Many families actually. I think each Goswami family gets 1 week. And I came in contact with now a very good friend of mine, Pundarik Goswami, and his family. We've spent a lot of time together. He actually came to my Polish festival tour, Festival of India on the Baltic Sea coast with his family. He spent 2 weeks with us. He went out on Harinam Sankirtan with us every day. He attended the festivals, sat in the audience and heard my humble self lecture when he's a well-known speaker on the Bhagavatam and Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. But somehow or other we became very close friends. So when it comes time for his 1 week service at the Radharaman temple, he becomes very excited about that. His whole family, his whole entourage, he has many friends, etc., helpers. He's invited us to participate. Just like yesterday, it was his first day for his seva to Radharamanji. So the ceremony is that, when it comes time for a Goswami to do his worship to the deity, he comes to the temple, and the last Goswami who was doing that worship, it's a whole ceremony. They bring the keys to the altar. It's going back to the time of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who established the standard of worship here. So we were present. He invited me to be there with him. There was a crowd of, 800 people in the temple. Somehow or other, people fit in. There's so many. This is a very popular temple. So thousands of people come, but we were there and he received the keys. And He was very kind. He was touching the keys to the heads of different people who were, in the temple. I also got the keys around my neck like that. So it's great mercy. There's a lot of mercy. One can get a lot of mercy here in Sri Vrindavan Dham. And we did this, we were part of his worship last year as well. And we had a big Harinam Sankirtan throughout Vrindavan as a celebration that he got the keys for the worship. I brought with me about 40 or 50 of my disciples and friends and well-wishers, and together we all were glorifying Shri Shri Radharamanji. And we're looking forward to this week actually. There's many, he's arranged many performances. Famous dancers, famous speakers will be participating in his puja for this year. And we're invited, we've just come now. We feel like family actually. This is the mood of Vrindavan, that the Brajabasis, regardless of who you are, where you come from, what is your language, your country, we're all accepted as eternal servants of Radhe Shyam. This is Prabhupada's mercy. This is actually the peace formula for the world, that we all identify ourselves as one spiritual family under God, under Krishna, because he's the Supreme Father. Everyone is created by Krishna. We're all his sons and daughters. We all have one father. So if you have the same father, then you're brothers and sisters. And although you may quarrel with your brothers and sisters, it never gets too intense like we see in the world today. So much confusion and conflict going on. So we have the peace formula, and that you feel when you come here. Here to Vrindavan. In the very beginning, I think when Prabhupada first brought his disciples here, maybe they were questioning, the Westerners, how can they take to Krishna consciousness, etc., etc. But I can say quite frankly now, the people of Vrindavan, they love the Western devotees. They love the members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, and they honor Srila Prabhupada. This is very satisfying to our heart. So we also are part of, Vrindavan's life, which is seen by the fact that a very prominent Goswami here, Pundarik Goswami, is very appreciative of Srila Prabhupada, very appreciative of how we're spreading the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya all over the world. He's embraced us, we've embraced him, so in our own small way we're participating in this very auspicious week. You'll see in this video so many things connected to this temple. It's a rare glimpse actually. I don't know if a documentary has ever been done like this, where we look deeply into the deity worship here, which Prabhupada encouraged us to learn. So please enjoy this video of the worship of Radharamanji in this particular week of Pundarik Goswami's Seva. Hare Krishna, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, the revealer of the Dham. Thank you.
Kamala Dala Chala Jivana Dala Mala Bhaja